Hey, what is up everybody? Blades for here and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. And gosh, this one's a little bit even earlier than I expected. I decided to wake up a little bit earlier in general, which we were gonna actually start streaming and everything around like 7:30, where I actually can lose my morning voice. But yeah, it seems like we're waking up even earlier than I expected here. And the main reason for this is because we actually have some huge news. If you guys can look at the screen here, this is some news for at least the global side of things, in which is an Operation Team Letter. Now, I wouldn't have even covered this normally if I didn't see a specific thing. You guys see the title, and I'm surprised. This is a rare worldwide type of W, global type of W, which I was not expecting to see today. So we're gonna go ahead and at least drive straight into it. I said drive, I meant dive straight into it here. And hopefully y'all enjoyed the video, but let's get straight into it. So they ended up coming out with this newsletter, and it says a couple implementations for the new contract system. Now this is something that of course is mainly like feedback they ended up getting here, and some of it is stuff that we already know, but apparently they've received a lot of requests to implement the contracts that guarantees the most wanted 5 stars. This is really going off of the guaranteed banner here, which was something that we didn't see till probably like 5 months inside of TW. And for any of you guys who are not familiar to that, you can go ahead and look on the screen right now, and there is usually the 50/50 banner, being this one right here, which goes up to 80, and then we have the 110 banner, which is the guarantee. If you went ahead and did the 110, you'd be able to get the 5 star no matter what. If you went ahead and did the 50/50, it was mainly a 50/50 chance with a higher rate, while the 110 had a little bit of a lower rate. For some people, the guarantee banner is really worth it. So for others, it really isn't. And I'm not even going to get straight into that because that's not really the juicy thing about today. But if we can go ahead and take a little bit of a look here, they kind of highlight this immediately and go over the actual contract system. Well, the new contract system, which is right here, it will be implemented very soon in future announcements. Of course, if we did not obtain a 5 star from the previous 110 draws, the next guaranteed 5 star is happening at the 110. This 5 star will be guaranteed for the most wanted at all times, aka the guaranteed banner. Now this is something that I was not expecting. I didn't at least think this was going to happen till probably like 5 months down the line, but it seems like we're getting it even quicker than I genuinely thought about. So I mean, like, it is kind of interesting to see something like this that's happening to global. That is a huge W, but it actually does get better. So of course, let's continue reading a little bit here. The contracts will be implemented 6 months after release. That was for at least the Chinese and Asia versions, while the Japanese and Western versions are currently making adjustments in order to release it even earlier. That was immediately a good thing here. Of course, both the contracts are counted separately, so do keep that in mind. They also do have different rates and draw counts, so they're going to keep us at least informed on this, but it's good to know that this is actually coming earlier than what we actually expected. We got some news about Minami, which is great because this is one of the few things that we really want to know as well, in which we are now able to in the Chinese and Asia versions, players were able to obtain, of course, Minami and her weapon from the business plan 3 and 4. In JP and Western versions, Plan 3 and 4 were implemented earlier compared to Chinese and Asia, in which Minami was already available at that point for golden ticket contracts. As a result, there is going to be a difference, so this is something that they finally acknowledged, and they say we're sorry about the inconvenience. Now for us, it does say Japanese and Western versions, we do plan to provide a new method for players to obtain cognate and weapons. We're preparing this special campaign, and that will be a benefit to those of you who obtained duplicates of Minami and her weapon. So this is going to be a whole different function that we're finally getting from Minami, including our weapon. So this is an interesting thing to see because it's not something that's currently on the Asia and Chinese versions. So we do have to keep that in mind. That's going to be a huge deal because, hey, it's something a little bit different. So I am excited about that. Now the next thing that we have to go over here is the addition of new characters into golden ticket contract. They ended up answering a lot of things when it came down to the feedback here, in which is the use of golden tickets. In the Chinese and Asia versions, some 5 star idols became instantly into the 5 star idol draft here, and that was after the wanted period. In the Japanese and Western versions, they plan to roughly add these 6 months after their initial release, which is something they said for Minami. Now we have a clear edition, what's it called, that this is going to be happening for. All of these are going to be adding probably about 6 months after their initial release, and this is now confirmed. This applies for both Minami and Yumi, aka Phoebe, who's going to be dropping, including both of their weapons. So it doesn't seem like they're going to be changing that time frame for at least the standards, and that makes a lot of things a little bit weirder, but still, I mean, hey, at least they decided to come out with it. I am kind of mad about that still, because 6 months is a little outrageous, and that's personally a personal issue. But I mean, like, hey, if that's what they're going to do and they're going to stand on it, then at least they're not going to be changing anything further. Every time we see a new standard character, we can automatically know they're not coming out for 6 whole months, which, man, that sucks to freaking say. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But all right, so they acknowledge that at least. Now the new thing here, frequency of new characters and free rewards. They say we have a lot of feedback going about this and the speed of the updates, and that's difficult for players to actually save up. Well, they've prepared multiple avenues for players to now obtain contract currency, such as through login events and playing through the content. They're going to be, of course, releasing a large-scale update with the 2.0 update, which of course we already knew about this. And to celebrate said update, players will be able to obtain 20 platinum tickets, 20 millicoins here, just through login bonus. There's going to be multiple other campaigns, so that's going to be a huge deal as well. Then we have, of course, some new paid items that are going to be happening fairly soon, in which in Japanese and Western versions for us, some of the items that are going to be offered in the Chinese and Asia version, they are changed. They're mainly changed due to the platinum regulations as well as the laws for Japanese and other countries in Western versions. So that explains the reason why they're changed as well. The rest of this stuff here is more or less new additions, such as features and campaigns, tasks, which are the things that we already have here. And let me show that as well. These little things inside of the game are going to be added fairly soon, aka well, fairly soon here. And this is mainly going to be things that you can get different items for. You pretty much just send your teammates on different little missions. They complete said missions and get you said items. So this was mentioned immediately as well, but we're going to have tasks coming out fairly soon as well. But the thing about this is players can exchange the Thief's Cognate Shard. We're pretty much able to get this once a week. Once we have 60, it gives you a special shard. Now, apparently, and which is why I'm going to acknowledge this a little bit more, I'm going to skip this part real quick, but the Thief's Cognate Shard itself, instead of it being only standard characters, it's going to feature other 5 stars such as Joker, which is new. A limited character is never inside of these, so this is a W for what is it called, the whole global scene. But it's going to at least experience with Joker. Gonna have Minami, Yui, who is another limited character, Yusuke, who's another limited character, Makoto Nijima, and of course Phoebe. Now these are huge deals because the only ones who are usually inside of this Cognate Shard are the actual not premium, but the standard units. So them adding some limited characters in here is really good, especially for things like Joker, being that he is quite oftenly still used on the TW version. You can finally get dupes for the guy. Same with Makoto, you can get dupes for her as long as you pretty much do this every week, getting you those 60 shards, which is actually really nice to see. So this is a huge W for global, and I'm really happy about that. Now the next thing that we're going to be taking a look at is the Lufel's Business Plan EX here, which isn't the final name, but this is a whole new expansion to Lufel's Business Plan, which is only going to be on JP and Western versions currently. It's mainly going to make it easier for players to forge their 5-star weapons and can be obtained through daily whole play. So they're going to be making this specifically for the global and JP what's it called, statuses of players, and this will help us forge more 5-star weapons. So once again, another global W. This is huge. I won't even lie to you. This is a huge deal. They're also going to be having a special campaign just for global and Western versions that are allowing you to get even more of these Thief's Cognitive Shards, which is just, it's crazy. It's crazy. They talked about some closing words, in which was really nice to see, and then say in the future they're hoping that everything initiates players to continue enjoying the game and provide a new experience, which is really awesome to see. But this brought a lot of hope, at least to global itself, and that comes with a lot, because genuinely a lot of people were losing a ton of that hope, and me included. I was not expecting a lot of things to go well with global, and I genuinely thought this was going to be a nothing burger type of like dev note. But it's good to see that they're actually finally looking at the community and responding accordingly. What do you guys think as well? Are you excited? Are you not? But until next time, everybody, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the live stream.